So Dragon Ball Daima has officially ended, and I gotta say, it was a phenomenal series. I very, very much enjoyed it. First and foremost, today is officially March 1st when we got the announcement 1 year ago that Toriyama had unfortunately passed away. Still, really, really sad that he's no longer with us, but he really did leave us with a really, really sick work, okay? I just gotta say right now, it was sick, bro. I loved Dragon Ball Daima so much. Overall with anything. This is going to be kind of my recap and review of everything, explanations about the ending, just a full-on yap session about the anime as a whole. So all I gotta say is that Toriyama, he was cooking. He was definitely cooking, and he did some stuff that I truly did not expect when it comes to the ending of this anime. And after rewatching it with the subs, okay, because when I first watched the episode, it was, just completely raw. I got a better understanding and appreciation for how things ended, right? So the anime as a whole, I gotta say, it was, it's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect. It definitely has issues. One of the biggest issues being the pacing. I think a lot of us can agree that the 20 episode duration of every single, component and part that led up to the finale, there are parts in the entirety of it that I feel like just weren't really necessary. Like, let me just give you one example, okay? The planet Mega, right? I use that as like one of the main examples that I think a lot of people would, because even though I did enjoy the episode, I didn't hate it or anything. It still had a cool little fight, and it kind of reminded me of like some GT OG Dragon Ball stuff where it's like, I don't want to say filler, but it felt like filler, right? It definitely felt like filler, and you could not watch that episode and just see, I think in that episode there was a part where they showed Degustu shutting off Warp Sama, if I'm not mistaken, in that one. I think that's the only part. It's like the very beginning, like the first maybe 5 minutes of the episode, or like 10 minutes you could watch, and then like the rest of it you don't really need. Like the whole sequence, the whole Planet Mega thing wasn't really something that you needed to know or see in order to understand the entirety of this anime. They did foreshadow a Planet Giga, so I thought, okay, maybe they're gonna end up going there next, or like in one of the future episodes. That didn't end up happening at all. So it really was kind of a pointless thing. The ship crashing down like 50 times, right? Did we really need to have that happen? Did we really need to go all the way back to go see Vegeta and friends just to tell them that there's not enough space in their ship? Like that to me, what was that? Like, really, it was just like, honestly, it was just a waste of time. Okay. And I've heard like the speculation that, oh, well, the ship was intentionally being fucked up and damaged by Glorio in order to stall and, be able to report back with Arinsu. The whole thing being, because he was working with her, stalling so that they could get that Dragon Ball from Demon Realm #1, okay, in that Tamagami 1 fight, right? So that was the whole, I guess, point of that. I don't think that was ever like just explicitly stated. I think you could interpret it that way. I can't really say if that was something that was really necessary, right? So that's another thing, and that's what I'm talking about, like with the pacing of it, right? There were some episodes leading up to it, like I'm sorry to say this, and if you did like the Gendamari Force, if that's even how you pronounce it, Gendamari, they think they're the Ginyu Force, right? I mean, they're supposed to be comedic and funny, and that's cool, right? I can't really say I sat there and I was like, laughing my ass off about it or anything. I was, maybe I saw some scenes, like the scene I liked was whenever they met up with Ku and Do in that, convenience store, and they were really cool and everything. They were like, oh yeah, if you get like big shots like us, you make a lot of money, and then end up not having any money to buy all that shit for them, but they still ended up buying Ku and Do like a bar of chocolate or like some candy or whatever. So I liked that. I thought that was wholesome as fuck, right? Like that's the only really thing I liked about it. When they actually fought the Gendamari Force and the guy's doing the big, ki blast, you think he's gonna do some sick shit, right? Like the main guy, and then Vegeta ends up just beating their ass. He beats all their asses, and they were just frauds, right? It was just, I don't know. I felt like that part, again, wasn't really too, I don't want to say necessary, but like it was just like, what am I watching right now? Right? But again, I didn't hate it. I wasn't like, oh my god, dude, can we just get on with the episode or anything? No, I was still watching and I enjoyed it. Like every single episode, I never had Like, I never sat there and I was like, God, like, this is hard to watch. There are some anime I've watched where I'm like, I honestly want to skip to the next episode, or I just don't even watch it. It's been like that. I never felt like that with Daima. I enjoyed every second of it for the most part, even though there were problems with it, okay? So those are kind of just my main gripes with the anime, okay? The ending of it, again, I feel like I have a better appreciation for how it ended. Let's just talk about the ending real quick, okay? So we know that, Goku, he fights Goma, he fires off that Kamehameha, and it looks sick, right? You like that right there, to me, that felt like the true, like, ending of the battle. Like, Goma could have been dead, quote unquote dead, or they could have had Piccolo, actually do the 3 hits, and then that was it. They won, and that would have been the ending, right? But when you really think about it, the fact that he, recovers after that, and then you have Ku, who just so happens to have the book in his hand, and he gets blown right behind, Goma. It's just like the stars aligned for him. Like, this was his moment, right? And for a character like Majin Ku, who, when it was first revealed, a lot of people said, this dude's a fraud, he's a joke. A lot of people didn't like the fact that he was, because there were people, including myself, that thought, okay, maybe he's like the main villain, and he's gonna get upgrades throughout the anime. I didn't think him just as Ku was gonna be it, right? This is right when he got revealed. And then you see him fight in the battle, and then, he's all crazy and like, like, doing some like monkey shit, running like on all fours and shit. Like, this dude's, he's silly as fuck, and he's hilarious. Bro's going crazy, and I loved it. Okay, when I saw that, I was like, okay, this guy's not the main villain, but he's actually funny as fuck, and he's just a fun character, right? Just like a little side character. We thought, okay, maybe there would be some potential for him, and then when Du got revealed, potential with them, maybe they were going to merge together or fuse or whatever. They ended up helping out in the battle. And Ku, he didn't really get the recognition he deserved throughout the entire series. He did a lot of really, useful things. He was a very useful character, okay? Bro said, I'm fast as fuck, okay? I can be, I can sing and all this shit. I wish we got Ku singing at the end, bro. I really wanted that to happen. I'm a dancer. Like, Ku had all these other abilities that weren't, bro was not built for fighting, okay? And he's a fucking genius too, right? He was able to calculate that number by adding up all the numbers or whatever it was for the Tamagami. After the Tamagami 1 fight, how they all have like the little trivia thing at the very end. Ku was the one that figured it out, right? He also had the ability to quickly, go through the magical book to find what Arinsu was looking for. Like, he ran and got the chocolate for Du for the fight, and he also had the giant cookie to give to Du for the fight. Like, he had a lot of great moments, and Arinsu never really like acknowledged him, okay? After he did, add that up and everything, he was like, yeah, it's all thanks to my great tag team, right? And she goes, what did you do? Arinsu, she never acknowledged him, and at the very end, he gets acknowledged by everyone, including Arinsu. At the very end, he's all happy about it, and he goes to Arinsu and is like, hey, Dr. Arinsu or whatever, and she smiles and looks at him, and then they all, accept him as the new Demon King. I thought that was a very, very wholesome ending, okay? I think it works out, and having Ku as the Supreme Demon King was a great choice, a fantastic choice, okay? At the very end, he goes, he's throwing out minister roles to everybody like he's Oprah and shit. I was like, bro, trying to give it to Goku and friends, and then Goku just like, he raises his hand because he goes, does anybody else want to be a minister? And Goku goes, he raises his hand, he goes, no, we're gonna leave. I thought that was great. So yeah, watching it with the subs and everything, just rewatching the episode, it made me really, really enjoy it. And I would have to say it went from my initial watching of it from like a 7.5 to I would bump it up to like an 8.5, maybe even say a 9 with it, right? At least for the final episode. And then now we got to talk about the explanation of Super Saiyan 4, right? Okay, maybe there were different translations, however you interpret it. I'm just reading off of what it was like, the Crunchyroll shit, which you can't always say Crunchyroll's good when it comes to the translations of it. I feel like there are some times where things are just like not great, but Vegeta, he's all pissed off about it. He's like, you were hiding that transformation from me, just like Super Saiyan 3, right? And then Goku goes, what, you mean Super Saiyan 4? And then he goes, I trained a lot after we beat Majin Buu. And then he goes, I didn't really think I could do it. So, the wording on that is very weird. Maybe for some of y'all, you could be like, oh yeah, I know exactly how it's interpreted, right? I feel like there could be like different interpretations for that, but the way that I'm seeing it, I guess the way people are explaining it, is that Goku, he knew there was a level, and I like this explanation a little bit. I would say he knew there was a level beyond Super Saiyan 3. Now, I cannot sit there and say that like he knew he knew Super Saiyan 4, this was the power, or he even attempted that he could use it. Like, I don't think that's what that was. I think he just said, I trained a lot, and then I felt, basically he's like, I felt the power within me. Like the joke, I feel the Super Saiyan 4 coming inside of me. Like that. I made that joke. It was a bad joke, but I thought that shit was like, you know, kind of weird, right? So does that mean like Neva's magic wasn't the reason? That's the only thing that kind of like bothers me a little bit. Again, it's not a big deal or anything, but like Super Saiyan 4, it's such a different transformation. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like the way it looks, the way it is, you know, he grows a tail. Like there's no way Goku knew it was going to be like this, or that's what the next level was. Like, is that really the next level, or did he just know, okay, there's some other higher power, okay? And I honestly, I like the explanation. Like, okay, first, let me just make this clear. I do like the fact that it was something Goku worked for, and he kind of already knew about. That's cool. Okay, I like that better than, you know, just like an ass pool. But at the same time, Neva's magic makes more sense to me, if that makes sense. Like he's, you know, again, this transformation, the way it is, the way it looks, right? Like Super Saiyan 3 was the form that's right before it, right? And I mean, other than maybe, I guess, like long hair, like it still looks like a Super Saiyan, right? Super Saiyan 4, to me, does not look like a Super Saiyan transfer. I'm talking about like traditional gold hair, you know, blue eyes, that kind of thing, right? But I mean, I'm just talking about appearance-wise. That shouldn't be looked too far into. But I just like the idea of, you know, it being like an exclusive transformation that Neva was able to bring out. Like this is still Goku's power. It's still his, right? But it's something that was like a mutation, kind of like how GT was, right? You know, GT honestly makes a lot more sense to me. Because, like, if Goku's just saying, like, oh, I can just jump from Super Saiyan 3 to 4, which he showed, he displayed it, right? I don't know, that's crazy to me, right? And, I mean, I guess, you know, he's still able to do that in GT as well, but, like, when he first obtains it, that just, I don't know, that just, like, made a little more sense to me, the way it's, like, a mutation-based transformation of a Super Saiyan transformation, right? But it is still Super Saiyan 4. This is still confirmed to be the next level, so I don't hate it, you know, in terms of like the idea of what it was, but I don't know, it's just kind of a little bit weird the way it was explained at the very end. I appreciate that they at least had some type of explanation, but overall, this last episode, it left me with more questions than answers, right? And honestly, I think a lot of us, and I would have to agree with what people have been saying like online and on Twitter and stuff, if you just watched Dragon Ball Daima as just Dragon Ball Daima, its own thing, you don't think too much about, oh, how is this connected, the continuity between the other series, GT, Super. A lot of people think that is connected to Super, and initially I kind of thought that as well, but at the same time I wasn't like, you know, 100% on board with it. It just kind of felt that way. It seemed like that's what they were trying to go for, because they're like, you know, they're referencing, you know, characters that were revealed in the Dragon Ball Super anime, like, you know, what is it? Gowasu, they showed him, and they showed other Kais that they had never shown before in any other series other than Dragon Ball Super, right? So you would think, okay, maybe this is actually connected, but there's been no confirmation of that. It could not, right? And so far from what I'm seeing, there's too many, dare I say, plot holes, right? There are just too many things about it that just don't add up, right? You know, Vegeta, he can use Super Saiyan 3. Why did he not use that against Beerus, right? You know, Goku, you know, why didn't he ever use Super Saiyan 4, you know, against Beerus or anybody else in the anime, okay? Like, before he even got the God forms, why did he never think to use Super Saiyan 4? Because allegedly he can just tap into it at will, right? That's what they basically showed and said in this anime. This wasn't a one-time thing, right? This is something that Goku can now do, at least in the Daima timeline, if you want to even consider it that, right? But yeah, again, if you just watch it like that and you don't think too much about it, which, I mean, I can't really say that. It's kind of hard not to think about those kind of things, right? Like how it's connected to Super and stuff. Like that's the only thing that would make sense. It goes from Z, Daima, and then Super, right? That makes a lot of sense, right? But then you see all the other things that just don't really add up from the ending of this anime and no explanations, right? So that's the only thing that I can understand people why they're just like, what the fuck? But just watch it how it is on its own and don't take it too seriously. And that's how I see Dragon Ball all the time. And that's why I think a lot of people, they always say I'm a glazer about this shit, or like I suck Dragon Ball's dick or whatever. And it's like, dog, like, can I just like something? Like, is that a problem? Like, if I just enjoyed something, which no matter what I say, whether I hate or enjoy something, people are going to be on my ass about it. But yeah, I genuinely did enjoy it. And I think that a lot of people would enjoy it a lot more if they just didn't take shit too seriously, especially with Dragon Ball. Like, I have a lot of other anime that I can watch, right, that's out there, that there are things where it's like they're really, really trying to push this narrative for something or trying to explain something and have all this, you know, lore and shit, which Dragon Ball Daima did very good on. I think they had a lot of cool extra lore that we didn't know about, you know, the Glins and all this stuff. They had some world building for the Demon Realm, showing off, you know, these each of these realms and stuff. Oh, there's a planet Namek on Demon World number 2. Like, there's a lot of cool shit that they had in this anime that Dragon Ball doesn't really do too often. Like, they did a lot of it compared to a lot of the other series, right? Not saying that the other ones didn't, but there's a lot of great material in this shit, right? And I cannot wait to do my rewatch of it whenever the dub fully airs. I just recently watched, I haven't watched all of it in dub yet. I seen the first, 2 or 3 episodes in theaters, and then I saw episode 8 to hear Stephanie do that just sick-ass Kamehameha. She still got it, bro. She still got it. I think she sounds great. Her voice is a little bit different, right? You know, she's gotten older, and she, you know, probably has not done the Kid Goku voice in a very long time because it's been Colleen this whole time. But I think she's back, bro. She's back, and I'm so glad she's back, and she does a great job, and I cannot wait to hear her in the games as well and throughout the rest of the series, right? But other than that, the last thing I wanted to go over is the post-credit scene. When I first watched it, because there were no subs, I was literally shitting my pants because I thought, okay, is this like a teaser? Are they teasing something more to come for this series, right? You know, they go in there, Goku says we need to stock up on more stamina bugs because they're low on sensu beans, right? So they end up trying to go get some more of those bugs, and then Bulma, she wants to buy the Butte bugs, I think they're called. Those are the little grubs, which is hilarious because she would have to eat those. In order, she gets grossed out by the fusion bug. She picks one of the fusion bugs up and she goes, oh my god, a bug? And then she's like, oh, I'm on board with eating the fucking grub, the nastiest looking one, right? In order to get the supple skin and de-aging by 10 years from what that, you know, shopkeeper said. So she says, I'll take your entire stock, basically. And when she picks it up, it has multiple different bugs in there. There's the one that heals burns, and then there's also the fusion bug, the join bug, that's what it was called. So they have them. She bought them all, right? She said, I'll take your entire stock. So, you know, they have them right now, technically. And then the last part, which was so fucking Toriyama, what is it? Pansy, she goes and she finds a jar. She blows off the dust, and it has two other fucking third eyes in them, which that shit was just like, I was losing my mind. I was like, oh my god, are they foreshadowing something? And that's the thing. They could be. And that's not 100% off the table. I don't think they are. I think it was just a gag, right? Because Toriyama gag writer all the time. You know, he does all the gag shit. I think it was just a joke like, oh, the most powerful thing that gave y'all so much trouble at the very end of this series, okay, that boosted Goma, kept healing him, right? You could fucking buy at a convenience store. Like, I saw somebody joke about it on Twitter saying, the Buddha could have fucking went to that convenience store, bought one of those, and soloed the entire Z Fighter team and Boo and destroyed Earth, basically, if he just went to the fucking Demon Realm's convenience store, that specific store, right? And she even says, like, I can give you a discount. So confirmed, we're getting Third Eye, Demon Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan 5, actually, Goku. That's going to be the next big form that we're going to get. And then they're going to fuse, because Vegeta's also, because there's 2 eyes, right? So Vegeta's going to get the eye, and then Goku's going to get the eye. They're both going to transform into Super Saiyan 5, fuse together, and they're going to make Super Saiyan 10 Demon Realm Third Eye Vegito, right? And they're just going to actually end up being evil, and they're going to rule the world, and then the other Z Fighters got to stop them. And that's when Tien comes in, and then he bonks him in the head, and then he gets both third eyes. So then Tien has 5 eyes, bro. He's going to have this 5-eye Tien, and Tien's finally going to be the new bitch-ass motherfucker, all right? And he's going to fuck you up. So that's what's going to happen at the end of next series, right? The Dragon Ball Tien Sha. That's what they're going to call it. Tien Shinhan. Dragon Ball Tien Shinhan. That's going to be peak, right? So, yeah, other than that bullshit that I just did at the very end here, yeah, that's kind of my overall, experience with Daima. I think if you have not watched it yet, fucking watch it. If you prefer dub or sub, it doesn't matter. Just watch the whole thing, right? All 20 episodes are out there now. I think you can leave it with enjoyment, right? Over anything. Whether or not you want to connect it, okay, I recommend do not try to connect this to other series or any timelines or whatever. Just watch Dragon Ball Daima for what it is. Because I went into this anime thinking it's just going to be a fun little adventure. Goku and friends. Kind of like OG Dragon Ball, right? I knew there would be firefights. I said it like a year ago, 2 years ago, whenever it first got revealed. I said Dragon Ball Daima is going to be peak. And I was right. It was fucking peak, okay? That's no glaze. It is peak, right? It is a peak anime, and it is fire. And again, when I say peak lost all meaning at this point, okay? Peak just means I liked it. It was very good, and I thought I had a great time. It was fun, right? So, yeah, what is my rating? I would have to say I give it an 8.5 out of 10. I think that's a very, very good rating, in my opinion. You can disagree with me or not, but I feel like that to me, 8.5 just came to my mind. I said, that sounds really, really good, okay? Because there are definitely issues with it. It's not perfect, but it was fun. It was fun as fuck. We still got amazing fights, amazing animation, okay? Cool world building with it, cool lore drops, a brand new transformation, right? Goma, honestly, he wasn't a great villain. He was funny. He was silly. And honestly, the way that they ended it, it makes sense. Like, he didn't deserve to die. He wasn't a bad. I don't see Goma as like a truly evil villain. Like the last time we had like a truly evil villain in an anime, in a Dragon Ball anime, I would say was like Zamasu. Like he was truly a piece of shit, honestly. Like he was a bad guy, right? But that's good. That makes a good villain, right? Goma, he didn't really do anything other than wish them to be kids, and that was it, right? Like he didn't deserve to die over it. So honestly, the way that they handled it made sense, right? And I would say, honestly, he's kind of a weaker villain, right? Degesu, waste of a fucking character. Shin, I mean, did he really need to be there? I wouldn't say he needed to be. Same thing with Piccolo. Like, they didn't really need to be there, but at least Shin did some stuff. You know, he broke the collar, Pansy's collar, so like, there's something like that and everything. Like, I'm just talking about things that I just feel like were, again, it's just like there were some things that are unnecessary, so it doesn't get a perfect score. But yeah, 8.5. I think it's a solid series. Honestly, I would put it up there in like a top 3. I would have to say top 3 Dragon Ball series, even though there's only, you know, like 5 basically so far, if you count, maybe 6 if you count Heroes, whatever. But yeah, I yapped a lot in this video. I hope you guys did enjoy just hearing what I had to say. If you hear me out, right? Hear me out. And if there are things you disagree with me from what I said in this entire video, absolutely comment down below your opinions. I love to read your comments. What do you think about this anime as a whole? What do you think about that finale, the ending, and everything about it? I'm just really sad it's done, bro. I really am. We're not gonna have any more Dragon Ball for, until the next announcement, which is definitely going to be a long time. I'm grateful that we have the games at least to hold us over. It's going to have a lot of great Daima content coming, but we have no manga and we have no anime. So for now, that's what it is. I told you guys, we had to savor this anime as much as possible, and now it's officially over. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for joining me on the journey, and here's to the next one. Peace out.
This is Broly, and you are watching SLOplays. Make sure to subscribe, or else I'll destroy your entire planet.